found out about this Captain McCluskey who broke Mike's jaw.
What about him?
Now, he's definitely on Sollozzo's payroll and for big money. See? Now, McCluskey has agreed to be the Turk's bodyguard. What you have to understand, Sonny, is that while Sollozzo is being guarded like this, he is invulnerable. Now, nobody has ever gunned down a New York police captain, never. It would be disastrous. All the 5 families would come after you, Sonny. The Corleone family would be outcast. Even the old man's political protection would run for cover. So do me a favor. Take this into consideration.
No, we can't give an appointment. It's too late. You have to come back tomorrow, right? I said, well, I don't have any money. I got 10 cents. My rent is due tomorrow. I have nothing to live on.
You just told
I
me
haven't eaten for 3 days.
You just told me you ripped off Corvette.
I got caught ripping off Corvettes for $110 worth of stuff.
And they let you go, right?
That's right, after I spent 2 hours explaining how I ripped off the other 4 stores over the last 6 months.
And you just ripped off, you said you ripped off Woolworth last night.
Today, 7 bars of chocolate.
7 bars of chocolate. And you believe that it's
I
right
ate 3 and I gave 4 away.
And you believe it's right to steal, right?
No.
Then what?
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong to steal.
You just told me before.
Did I say it was right?
You told me
I said it was
right.
necessary. There's a difference between right and necessary.
Why is it necessary?
Because I don't have the money to buy what I have to steal.
Chris Scouser here with
Matt Howell.
On this episode of The First Run, Matt and I are going to venture once more into the breach to assist the always effervescent Sam Rockwell save the future in Gore Verbinski's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I'll also, Matt, I think we'll talk a little bit about Bobby Duvall, who recently passed away, unfortunately. And I finished Stranger Things Season 5. Have you caught up with it yet?
Yeah, I have watched it way long ago.
It was okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
I think everything got just too big.
Right.
Too many characters, too many moments we had to satisfy, too many things to check off. But overall, it was fine. This is good. Fine way to go out. Hey, let's hear a clip from Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
This is my 117th time in the Steiner doing this exact speech. Can you imagine that? 117 times I've tried to get through to all of you. It's kind of like your favorite movie, Jim Groundhog's Day. That's your favorite movie, isn't it, Jim? Yeah?
How do you?
I have experienced this night over and over again, each time with a different combination of people in the Steiner. And every time we have failed, I have held some of you in my arms and watched the very life flicker from your eyes. Some of you, I even consider family.
Some of you. Matt, what is Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die all about?
So Sam Rockwell is a crazy person who breaks into a diner and takes everybody hostage, saying he has a bomb. He says that he is from the future and that he needs to just find the right combination of people to help him kill or reprogram the nascent AI that is going to become self-aware within a few hours and will ultimately lead to the destruction of Earth and the downfall of mankind. As you heard in the clip, he's done this 117 times with various people, combinations of people, and this is the story of the 118th time, where he gathers up a crew of 7 to go with him and try and stop the apocalypse.
So I'm going to be honest with you. There are a group of people who are huge fans of Gore Verbinski's work, consider him a visionary. I've never really connected with him on that level. I will say I've loved The Ring, and I enjoyed The Curse of the Black Pearl, but not a fan really of any of the Pirates films. He did The Lone Ranger, Cure for Wellness, that some people have affection for that film. I don't. I've always mostly just been underwhelmed by Mr. Verbinski, unfortunately. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, he's a dude with a cool name who's done a couple of entertaining films, but otherwise, it's not somebody I follow.
So what are your thoughts on his but his film that he did adapted from the screenplay by Matthew Robinson? That's one of the things I want to point out, because again, he didn't write this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he just interpreted it for us to see on the big screen, which,
as many directors do.
Yes, I think it's a hallmark of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And what were your thoughts on Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die? Were you entertained? Were you laughing? Were you crying? Was your heart filled with love? Were you just happy to see an original concept, perhaps? Though, granted, time loop films are a staple of the genre. But again, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is basically Terminator / Matrix / 12 Monkeys, right? That's kind of all pulled together. But honestly, it's done in a really entertaining way. I think the actors, notably Sam Rockwell and Juno Temple, they're all, very on board with this, and they're entertaining to watch. I quite enjoyed this. I thought overall, I mean, granted, it did strike me a little bit as like old man yells at clouds, right? Like, those damn kids are always on their phones and all this kind of stuff. And, AI is going to kill all of us kind of thing. But at the same time, it's really entertaining. And I think it's just weird enough that where it's even like, okay, yeah, they're talking about kids on their phones or talking about school shootings. I could see all of these things kind of happening. And it's basically like a bunch of episodes of Black Mirror kind of shoved together. And I think it works, for the most part, really well. I don't know if it really sticks the landing, right? I think it kind of comes apart at the end, but then it kind of, at the same time, towards the end, it kind of pulls itself back up. And it kind of has a satisfying denouement, if you will. Ooh. But, overall, I was quite pleased with this film. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, I felt walking out of this thing that this is going to be right in Matt's wheelhouse, that this is something that you would really enjoy. So I'm happy to hear that. And it's nice. It's a dying genre, a piece of original material, right?
Sure.
So, granted, like Matt says, it does borrow, I think, heavily from a lot of different things. It is weird at times. Did it ever, though, feel for you like, look at me, I'm trying to be weird? Like, what do they call the kids say now? A pick me or something like that? Where it felt like the monster at the end, right?
Sure.
Which is an amalgam of different things, felt a little forced with me. A few things throughout the film were like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, right? But I mean, overall, I think the weirdness serves this film, right? It would have been a much worse film, I think, if they just made it much more of a straightforward, is Sam Rockwell telling the truth or is he just a crazy person? And like, it basically tells you right off the bat that he's absolutely 100% correct in everything that he's telling you. And I think, the vignettes that they have, some of them are more successful than others, but overall, I think they do a lot to really kind of sell this kind of near future absurdist world. And I think it works pretty well.
Yeah, I was glad that it dispensed with that potential, is he crazy or is he not storyline, I think, pretty effectively, pretty quickly. I don't know, maybe he seeds little things every now and then that may give you a little bit of self-doubt, but as soon as it happens, he corrects it right away, right? Like names what's in his pocket, kind of out of Superman in the purse, right? But so I think that's fair, Matt. For me, it was a bit of a mishmash of prior works, just your sci-fi time loop genre film. It's not something you haven't seen before, but I think one of the key things and why it works is two things. First off, I think it does have a box full of original ideas, and it's able to drag itself over the finish line, I think. I do agree with Matt that maybe the final confrontation doesn't work, but that last act moment, I think, does. Yeah. And I think the movie relies really heavily on Sam Rockwell, and I have to say that he is an exceptional choice to lead this film. I think few actors can handle the smarmy, kind of caustic, and yet charming character like Rockwell does. It's kind of his hallmark, and I think he is fantastic in this. There's an air about him, a charisma that kind of lends him to be the ideal purveyor of material like this, I think. And though I do think the film maybe run a little clunky at times, I think maybe our first big reveal is a bit obvious about the interpersonal relationships of some people on the team. I think that's a little heavy-handed at times, and I was able to unmask that, I think, pretty quickly, at least in my mind, Matt. But I think it handles most of its other turns well. When we get the backstories from the other students, the other team members, I think it's fine. I still struggle with that final monster. It feels like something like Matt said last week, like the first draft once you're high as F on a bong rip or something like that, right? But outside of that, another thing too, like the creature isn't fixed, right? if I may. Feels like a juvenile joke, while there are moments I think of really kind of high concept humor and cleverness. There's kind of this kind of dumb middle school joke stuff too in it, which I was kind of like, I don't know. All right, I think there's enough here to off balance any real critiques I have about it. And I will say too that I think Gore does a good job of keeping us off balance, where I personally never firmly felt like I was standing in a fixed reality, which I think really helps the ending as well, or even what reality maybe even means. And I think it does a good job of keeping us engaged, though I think overall it's a little unfocused at times. I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's me being dumb, Matt, and not getting a straightforward Matrix-esque kind of oracle or architect reveal at some point, perhaps, it really explains everything, because there are parts of it where I was kind of trying to piece together exactly what was happening. And I was a little confused, but then I think it's maybe just lends to the film's kind of trippiness and unusual experience. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you just kind of got to go with it. I mean, the creature at the end, right? I mean, it's kind of a throwaway gag in the fact of, I think Sam Rockwell says, God, it's a bad prompt, guys. It was a bad prompt, but that this AI is creating this ludicrous stuff coming to life. And I think it's just kind of upping the stakes up and up and up, just to kind of make it more, surreal. And I think it's one of those pieces where they did it to, instead of it being shocking or scary, it's just supposed to be kind of like Chris said, a juvenile gag. I don't think it was really trying to be anything more than that, so I was okay with it. Although I think at the end, I mean, it was a little gratuitous, I guess, and it was it was maybe a little not as funny as Gore or whoever wrote that in there thought it was.
Yeah, maybe like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but he was dropping trow or something like that. Yeah, I'll say this: I'm very happy that the film exists. Like Matt, I had a very good time with it. I rather enjoyed it, and maybe it kind of trips over itself occasionally, but overall, I think it's clever enough. It's funny enough. Rockwell is what sells it for me in the end. I really couldn't think of a better person to deliver the lines of dialogue and just to portray this character than him. He really is just perfectly suited for this. I'm sitting on a B+ for Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to give it the exact same grade, a B+.
Look at us.
Look at us.
If you had a chance to see Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, it's just an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. So we lost a Titan, Matt, this week, and that is Robert Duvall, one of the greatest actors of, I think, the past 60, 70 years, just maybe ever. Just always churning out fantastic work. I can't tell you how many times I watched Duvall in a movie. If I saw he would show up, because he did a lot of uncredited little cameo things too, or small roles in big films. And as soon as Bobby D showed up, you're like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. But did you have like a particular role that stuck out with you? I'll give you a few minutes to think about it, since I'm just dropping this on you. Out of all the stuff that he did for me, like there's Tom Hayden in The Godfather, right? You have the great Santini, Apocalypse Now as Kilgore. So many great roles over the years. The one that sits with me, I think about the most, I think it's because it's such a weird moment, is him as the priest in the Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake, where he's on the swings in the beginning of the movie, just watching people. And it's just because he was a friend of the director and he was in town, so he did it. But it's just one of those weird things. You're like, is that Robert Duvall? Is that Robert? And it perfectly sets the tone for the film as well. So that's oddly enough the one I kind of keep going back to the most, as just the priest on the swing, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I know, which is absolutely crazy, but it just always just jumps out at me. I will confess, I haven't seen The Apostle, which I've been wanting to watch for a long time, so maybe I'll find the time now to do that, which is supposed to be one of the best films he made. He wrote and directed. All right, so he starred and directed in it. I know that much at least. But, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Duvall?
Yeah, I mean, he's just one of those quickly disappearing old Hollywood actors who is well respected, has been in some great films, has had a lot of memorable bit parts, like you said, is Kilgore in Apocalypse Now, or as the old man that they come across in The Road, or even weirdly, he would be in things like Four Christmases, where he was Vince Vaughn's dad, the crotchety old dad from that he was trying to run away from. I mean, it may be cliche, but things are cliche for a reason because usually they're true. But I think obviously his turn as Tom Hagen is really his piece of magnum opus for acting, really. I mean, he is incredible in that role.
Yeah, no, truly a major loss, Matt. So what are we going to be seeing next week? What do you got for us?
We're going to be seeing How to Make a Killing, a black comedy from Glenn Powell. Also stars Margaret Qualley, Jessica Henwick, Bill Camp, Topher Grace, and Ed Harris.
Ooh, Topher's in it, huh?
Oh, and I did end up seeing, don't tell me how, but don't ask me how, but I did end up seeing Cold Storage, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
It was okay. It was just okay. I think we made the right decision going to see a different film, although we didn't see Crime 101 yet, but yeah, it's a horror comedy that has my typical complaints about horror comedies. It's not really scary enough to be horror. It's not really funny enough to be comedy. And it just seems, even at whatever its 90-minute running time, it seemed way, way too long.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'm glad we went with this instead. So that's good. Supporting new original ideas. That's what you got to do, folks. In the meantime, you can check out thefirstrun.com. You can find archives of all the old shows. The report card is there. There's a little player. Just hit play. I'll start running through them and more. Also find us on Blue Sky and YouTube and Facebook, Instagram. Do a search for The First Run. Scroll. Eventually you'll find us. Head on over to Apple Podcasts. Give us a review. It'll help other people find the show. And I think that'll be that. So we're going to go ahead, take an extended break. I'm sure you know by now that we love you all very much. Please take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all again soon. Take care.
Nothing else in the world smells like that. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. You know, one time we had a hail bomb for 12 hours. When it was all over, I walked up. We didn't find one of them, not one stinking big body. The smell, you know, that gasoline smell. The whole hill. Smelled like victory.